ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति. The purpose of this chanting is to shift our focus from the world to the self, to shift the gear from the mundane, terrestrial to the transcendental. We are so preoccupied, the mind is so preoccupied in the world. When we engage for these sessions, the understanding is let me concentrate, let me shift to this frequency, to the high understanding of life, and apply ourselves and try and understand these higher values of life. The chapter we are in, chapter 10, self-analysis. So in the second section, we are going deeper into our personality, which we did in the last chapter, chapter 9. And then we are discussing about analyzing our personality. So we did the technical part of it, where we did the Panchakoshas, the 5 sheets. Then now we are talking about, okay, I understand my personality, but how do I go deeper into my personality and reach that reality? The purpose of human existence is to reach, to understand your real identity. What these masters are saying, you are not what you believe yourself to be. This is an assumed identity which we are carrying. It is passing, it is futile, it just starts, there's a birth, there's an end, there's a death, and it ends. So we are in the cycle of birth and death, and which is for the individuality. But the self, the reality, the pure consciousness is never born, will never die. That's the message of these masters. So shift your focus from this gross individuality to the reality, that which is constant in all these variables, changes. Anything which is changing means there's a birth, there's a death. There's a start, there's an end. Reality doesn't change. It is imperishable. That reality you are. That's what these masters are saying. We all are that reality, which is constant. It doesn't change. That which is the pure consciousness, the pure awareness, the pure knowledge. Shifting to analyze within our personality, he said the first topic was inquiry into yourself. Find out who you are. Go deeper into your personality. Don't assume yourself to be what you believed in. This is a borrowed imagining yourself to be this individuality. Understand you cannot be this. This is changing. Every moment is changing. So you take a picture 10 years back, 20 years back, it's changed. Physical body is changed. It's not when you took the picture, you changed. Every split second, we are changing. We just notice the change at that moment. So they're saying, understand, don't hold on to this changing factor. Instead, go back to that reality which is constant. Turn introvert. We are so extroverted. The mind's tendency is to be extroverted, to find fault externally, to find problems externally. We keep complaining about the world. We keep complaining about people, everything around us. We have a reasoning. Why am I not growing? Why am I not progressing? Why am I agitated? Why am I disturbed? Vedanta says, if I am disturbed, if I am agitated, the cause, reason is me. I need to change my perspective in life. There's something going wrong in my understanding of life. Nothing wrong with the world. World is as it is. But my expectation of the world is different. I want the world to be different from what it is. I want the people to be different from what they are. That expectation, lack of assessment, creates agitation and stress. So they're saying, forget the world, leave them alone, mind your business. It is not selfish and self centered, please. When they say develop yourself first, they're not being saying that, you have to be selfish. They're not saying that. What they're saying is, before you help others, help yourself. In a flight, the flight attendant, she does so much dance, drama, all that goes on. First thing she says, put the oxygen mask onto yourself. Before you help others, help yourself. It's not optional. If I die, how will I help others? To the extent I am able to develop myself spiritually, only to that extent I can help others spiritually. So they're saying, develop yourself, focus on yourself. That is the only way we can help others. We are so involved, want to help the world, society, community. Only thing we miss out is ourselves. Vedanta says, focus on yourself first. Everything else will take care of, will fall in place. Slowly, everything will happen. Become a beacon in the society. Inspire everyone with these values. When you live on these higher values, live a disciplined life. Whatever you think is the right way of living, do it. When you're able to do that, automatically you are turning introverted, which is the inquiry into yourself. The first level is turn introvert. Shift your focus from the external world to the inner reality. What is that reality? Move from the physical level to the emotional level, to the intellectual level, to the spiritual level. We discussed it earlier. What do you do? How do you shift? Where do you go? Physical level, you have a level area of identification. Now, we are stuck to that. Everything is physical about us. We see everybody physical. How healthy he is, how non-healthy he is, how good looking he is, not good looking he is, black, white, gray, all that is our focus. Physical, everything physical. We discriminate based on physical appearance. Go beyond at the level of the mind, emotions, feelings. You go higher. Your area of increases, the identification increases. You have a chocolate. Now, Belgian chocolate, the best. You love it. You have it. You enjoy physically. Your daughter will not even know about it. But you know that your daughter will enjoy it. She loves it. So what you do is, you don't have it. You have only one. You take it to your daughter, to home, and give it to her. And she relishes. She's enjoying it. You are not physically enjoying it because you're not having it. You gave it to the other person, your daughter. She's enjoying it. But by looking at her enjoying, you enjoy it. How is it? That is what is moving from the physical to the emotional. You're moving higher. So everything is emotional at that level. Everybody emotional, you relate to people at the emotional level, you connect with people, all that is great. It is much higher than physical, only me, myself. But now you have increased the area of identification to emotional. When you go higher, you move to the level of intellectual level, where you are not merely carried away by the emotions, but there is something more finer in the personality which you look for. What are the values the person follows? How is he living? What is the sharpness of the intellect? What are the thought process he is having? How he is conducting himself? All that, the nature, the character of the person, that is the criteria. So the area of identification has increased. It's no more limited to just physical appearance. You move to physical, to emotional, to intellectual. And these masters have gone to the spiritual level. Christ, Krishna, Mahavir, Buddha, what is great about them? They have gone to the spiritual level of the personality, and from there they're operating. And that's why when Christ was being crucified, he was being hurt physically, emotionally, people didn't give him love. Intellectually, people didn't honor him. All that he went through, and he only said, Father, forgive them. They know not what they do. How is he able to be charitable in spite everything is going against him? Physical, emotional, intellectual level. How is it possible? Because they are operating at the spiritual level. So turning introvert is moving from the physical to emotional to intellectual to spiritual. Every man is divinity in disguise, a god playing the fool. Ralph Waldo Emerson, he says, every man is a divinity in disguise, God playing the fool, full with desires. So each one of us are essentially the divine. To be able to extray through the physical, emotional, intellectual, and go to the spiritual personality and identify with that is growth in a personality. Then he said, you must raise yourself by yourself. Don't depend on teachers or masters or knowledge. They can only help us up to a point. That's all. We have to walk the way ourselves. We cannot delegate evolution. Spiritual journey is very personal, very subjective. It cannot be given to others. We have to do it ourselves. Every day is an opportunity to make ourselves better, to improve ourselves. Whatever I can do, am I doing what I can every day? That is progress. That is growth. You know, even in mathematics, they say 0.001% if you progress every day. 0.001%, small effort you put every day consistently, 365 days, there is a 37% growth. 37% growth. Cumulative effect. So, how is it happening? Every day, small thing, whatever I can apply, whatever I can do, I'm doing what I can do. That effort is what he's talking about. You must raise yourself by yourself. There is no way, no other way. Uddharet atmanam atmanam avasadayet. Bhagavad Gita says, raise yourself by yourself. So we need to work on ourselves, our personality, our mind and intellect. Let's stop complaining and let's start functioning in life. Then he explained, yourself is the supreme reality. That reality is your real identity. So go back to that reality. It is the self alone which has the joy, the pure bliss, the happiness, what we are claiming. No, happiness has unhappiness. Bliss has no opposite. When we refer to happiness, it is all with respect to the world. Happiness is respect to the world. But when we talk about bliss, they are not referring to achievements in the world, which we feel as happy, or when we lose something, we feel sad. They're not referring to that. What are they referring to then? They're referring to something which you feel within yourself, a bliss, a sense of satisfaction, a contentment. It only increases. How do you know it is happiness or bliss? Happiness has a positive and negative. Sometimes it goes high, it goes down, all that happens. But bliss, it's slow, but for sure, it builds up. It doesn't reduce. So when you focus on yourself, turn introvert, inquire into yourself, automatically you're moving towards that reality, the source of self. To that, Swamiji explains here that our experience is so weird, so different. What are we talking? I contact the world, I get happiness. And how are we saying the happiness is not there in the world? It is there in the self. It doesn't make sense. To that, he explains and says, analyze it. The happiness you're claiming Is it really in the world? If you say it is from the world, everybody will have the same experience, which we have analyzed that it's not so. Cigarette being the same gives joy to one, sorrow to another. Lady being the same gives joy to one another. One person wants to divorce that lady, get rid of that lady. Other person is looking forward to marry the same lady. All that he is going through, all contacts is going through just to get married to the dead lady. Go to the ex-husband and ask. He'll say, please, you keep her. So experiences are different. To that, we are saying that the world is not the object or being of the world is not giving you joy or sorrow. It is how you relate to it. So if it is to do with the relationship, then it can be anything. World is not the point. World. So in other words, I don't have to start improving, changing the world, which is what people are doing in terms of just to get happiness, bliss. We believe that if I go to a peaceful place, I'll be peaceful. Stay there for a long time. Peace are in pieces. It's not there. It goes away. So, see, we go for, wellness. We keep traveling for lectures. People, they travel different part of the world. They come for treatment and wellness. Now, think about it. People are coming, they want to stay for 7 days, 14 days, 21 days, all that. They're looking for it, they're planning for it for years together. It's in a bucket list, they just want to tick it off and they want to go, they want to experience it. All good, all good. They are enjoying it. Now, if happiness was in that particular place, everybody should have the same experience, right? People who are working there every day, for them, what is happiness? Getting away from that place. Isn't it? You are going there for happiness, peace, bliss. People who are working there day in, day out, ask them, they are complaining, I'm not getting leave because so many people are coming, I'm not getting leave. They want to get away from there to be happy. So we are saying happiness is not inherent in the world. It is how you relate to it. In other words, shift the focus from changing the world, making the world better place to live in, which is fine. Whatever can be done, do it. That's okay. But shift the focus to bettering ourselves. Then what happens is wherever we are, we enjoy ourselves. You gather honey from a weed. The poet says in one of the poems, when you are they whom truth and wisdom leads, people who are wise, they gather honey from a weed. Weed has nothing. But they are able to gather honey. They're able to take so much more out of nothing. That's the capacity they have, which comes through knowledge, understanding of life. So, what is the understanding of life? He gives the example of the moonlight, very famous metaphor in the scripture, the moonlight example, which we did in the last class. We see the light coming from the moon. And how can you say the light is not there in the moon? Look at it from the, we see a full moon light. Do we realize we say it's full moon? It is 25% of the entire moon. You're not seeing the entire moon. It's 25% of the entire moon. And that you call as full moon. Perception. The angle you see from India is not the same you see from US. It's not the same you see from Australia. It's a different angle of the same moon. Makes us think what is real, what is unreal. It's all perspective. We're seeing from one angle. And we believe this is all what it is. To that he says, everybody is enjoying the moonlight. Huh? So how do you say there's no light in the moon? Go there and see. It's dry, arid line. So then, but I am experiencing. Where is it coming from? It is the reflected light of the sun. Similarly, friends, what Swamiji is saying, what these masters are saying is, there is no happiness inherent in the world. But we are experiencing it. We are we have ecstasy. We go all out for happiness. Yes, it is just a reflected experience of the bliss within. You are that bliss. So then there's a very beautiful conversation between the prince and the sage. That's what we ended with. The prince wants to know his real identity. Who is he? The sage says, may I know who you are? So the prince is asking about God. What is God? Where is God? Who is God? The sage is asking, fair enough, I'll tell you, but who are you? So the prince is arrogantly saying, I am the prince. Okay, that's okay. You're born in the kingdom, royalty, you're a prince, fair enough. But who are you? Then he says, my name is Gajapati. Okay, that's your name. Fine, fair enough. Prince is your status. I'm a human being. Okay, your species. You look like a monkey, but okay, fair enough. You're a human. You claim to be a human. Fair enough. Then I'm the body, mind, and intellect. I agree, but it belongs to you, but you're not that. And then he says, I don't know. That is surrender. When we recognize that I really don't know my real identity, I'm just playing around with something, an assumed identity, and believing this is me. Turn within. Go within. Vedanta helps to reveal the supreme self in you. You then realize your infinite being, that which keeps you performing countless deeds. You move every muscle in the body. You cause each hair to grow. You eat, you produce and digestive juices in the stomach. You digest the food taken in. You distribute the digestive food in every part of the body. You evacuate the waste. You operate the nerves. You feel emotions. You think various thoughts. These go on and on all your life. God is therefore the primal source of all activity, the supreme self, which assumes the three forms of waker, dreamer, and deep sleeper. The infinite power that operates in your personality is the same that operates everywhere, that enlivens the entire animal and plant world as well. A same self power that causes the sun to shine, earth to revolve, rivers to flow. That supreme power is known as Atman in microcosm, Brahman in macrocosm. Atman and Brahman are one and the same reality. That is the omnipotent, omniscient, omnipresent God, your divine self. You are your real self. Simple. Confucius, Chinese philosopher, says life is simple. We insist to complicate it. You are the self. This is the truth. Masters are saying. Find out your real identity. That's all we have to do. Purpose of human life is just to find out who we really are. Now, purpose of religion was to help humanity turn the focus within. Drift in religion. Religion is meant to impart the knowledge of God, knowledge of the supreme self within you, the homogeneous being that resides in every living creature. In the world today, there is hardly any spiritual education. Religion has been reduced to mere maxim and mandate. Free thinking has been stifled, strangled, and people have lost their reason, their independent judgment. The natural growth in spirituality has been stunned by forced doctrine and dogma. The well meaning custodians of religion have turned the masses into spiritual pygmies. We have chosen to stay small. We need to shift our focus and turn to the reality, expand our vision. We are so keep ourselves so hold ourselves our understanding of life. Purpose of religion was to expand that vision. Whereas what it has come down to, just following the doctrines and dogmas, following the masters. Religion has two aspects. So you'll be covering it. One is the ritual part of it. The other is the philosophy part of it. Some people fast on the Friday, on the Sunday, on the Monday, on the entire week, entire month. Each one has different rituals. But the philosophy, the meaning, the significance, the purpose remains the same. That essential reason behind the rituals is Vedanta. Vedanta is the essence of all religion. So the purpose of religion was to give understanding of the higher to humanity, to people. Instead, it has become based on doctrines, dogmas, based on maxim and mandate. You are told what to do, what not to do, do's and don'ts. There is no scope of questioning. If you question, it's blasphemous. How can you ask about God? How can you question God? So if you ask, sir, do you believe in God? Yes, of course, I believe in God. What is God? Who is God? Where is God? God is God. God is amazing. Okay, have you met him? Do you know what is your understanding of God? Oh, so you don't believe in God? No, no. Leave my belief. You believe in something. What is your belief? What do you believe in? Who do you believe in? There's a person sitting down and deciding good for me, bad for others. What is your understanding of God? You've accepted God as the creator. God is God. We have stopped questioning. We have stopped asking questions, the pertinent question, and follow the path that is necessary for our progress in the spiritual path. Otherwise, what happens? You become a spiritual pygmies, which he compares with the bonsai. You know, in bonsai, when you cut the root, it doesn't grow. That's the reason. That's how you keep it stunned. Such beautiful trees. You see, with beautiful oranges, small, small oranges are there. How do they keep it small? They are because they keep on cutting the roots. They don't allow it to have a grip to grow. Similarly, the method or the way spirituality, religion is being communicated, they do not allow humans to have a grip to grow in the spiritual field. Instead, they are cut, stunned by well-meaning custodians of religion. People all over the world allow themselves to be influenced by views and opinions of others. They accept religious teachings blindly. Few get to the merit of religion. If religion is to purify and bring about human evolution, it has to be inquired into and judged and accepted on its own merit, not on authority. Your approach to religion should be to get to the depth of knowledge therein. Examine it per se, judge it on its own merit. Do not accept anything because it was laid down by sages and saints. If you adopt their declarations mechanically, you flout the fundamental principles of religion. You miss the spirit of religion. You would do well to take up religion as you would science or mathematics. Study its subject matter carefully. Reflect upon it over and over again. Understand it thoroughly. Apply the knowledge gained in your practical life. The knowledge thus tested becomes your own. In spirituality, there is nothing like theory and practice. You either know it or you don't know it. Simple. If you don't live it, you don't know it. If you live it, you know it. So, when you go deeper into your understanding of the knowledge, automatically you live it. When the understanding is not complete, you don't live it. It's just there. Like gold on mule's back. It's actually a problem than a solution. It's not benefiting the mule. It's a burden. So, people have accepted religion to be meant to follow whatever is being told. No question asked. That attitude doesn't help us live the knowledge, apply the knowledge. And that's the reason youngsters doesn't want to get into it. Rightly so. because there is no scope of reasoning, thinking, understanding, application. It is just follow the doctrines and dogmas. Whatever is being told, just follow it, accept it, just go for. You have to do it. Why? There's no questioning. And since the last generation, the early generation was not answered, they also didn't know. The grandparents also didn't know. Their parents also didn't know. So it carries on. That's how the religion is being carried, with mere beliefs, no questioning, no understanding of their own religion. And because of that, what has happened is that in the society we see the younger generation doesn't want to get into it because there is no clarity of what they are doing. Just because somebody said something, a sage said something, we follow it. Because Newton said law of gravity exists, so we believe in law of gravity. Is that the way to conduct ourselves? Can't we see the law of gravity functioning? Does it require Newton to say or not to say? The fundamental laws of life exist, persist. We better know it for our purpose. If we don't understand and don't live it, don't apply it, we are in the problem. We will go through the stress and strain of life. That's all they're saying. When Lord Krishna says, Uddharet Atmanam Atmanam Avsadayet, he's saying, raise yourself by yourself. When he says, Karmanne Vadikarastu Ma Faleshu Kadachana. Karma is your responsibility. Your right is an action. Ma is negative. Phalam is fruit. Faleshu Kadachana, never on fruit. He says, your right, your responsibility is on your action, never on your fruit of action, what comes out of the action. Lord Krishna has said, so we have to follow. No, it is a law. By thinking about the fruit, you do not get the fruit. You have to put the cause, you have to put the right effort to get the effect. So he's saying, by thinking of the effect, you're not going to get anything. Just focus on the cause, focus on the effort, focus on the action you're putting. That's all he's saying. So people have accepted the study. It's more mechanical following. Most people don't get into religion. If at all people get in, they get fanatic about religion. And that's what he's talking. The topic is drift in religion. So the goal of religion was not to create a division. It was to help humanity to progress, evolve as a society, as a community. It was never to take people out of, divide one person to the other person. It was never for that. Religion today is far from reaching its objective. There is an inversion of natural order. A self is being made to a slave to the ghost of old books. Well-meaning preceptors have wasted their time torturing old texts to squeeze out the truth, which was a matter of their personal experience. Others try to force their own meaning for those lifeless words. There are religious practitioners who swear by bhashyas, commentaries, which are more complicated than the original text. They place the study of language and text higher than the truths therein, and merely stuff the mind with authorities and quotations. Consequently, their intellect have stopped functioning. The well-meant efforts have retarded rather than advanced human progress towards God realization. Purpose of religion was to introduce the concept of reality and help humanity to reach the reality, help society to evolve. Whereas, since the approach has become so fanatic, because of that, it is actually dragging people more to the mundane world. People get more carried away by the hasyas, commentaries. They're more complicated than the actual text. And they swear by it. Adi Shankaracharya is talking about it. How can you not get it? Krishna alone will save the world. Nobody else can protect. Christ alone will save it. Prophet Muhammad alone is the one who can protect. Who said that? Where is it written? They're self-realized masters. Imagine Christ, Krishna, Mahavir, Buddha has to sit in one room. Will there be a conflict? On what? They are self-realized masters. They have reached the ultimate human perfection, God realization. Having reached that ultimate perfection, they do not confine themselves to the body, mind, the intellect, the individuality. We see them as Mr. Christ, Mr. Krishna, Mr. Prophet Muhammad. They are not limited to their individuality. When they say, come to me, I will protect you, they're only saying, go reach to your real identity. You will be fine. You'll be safe. Nothing can touch you, nothing can affect you, nothing can bother you. Now the world disturbs us, every aspect of the world disturbs us. It's because we are too caught up in the world. Shift your focus from the world to the higher purpose of religion. Therefore, you must approach religion with your head and heart. Be free to think. Use reason to arrive at your own conclusion. But the unfortunate trend these days is to boost up the image of a personality. And thoughtless people rely on his authority. Take matters too much on trust. They depend on outside forces to do their thinking. Thus, themselves be hypnotized by others' views and opinions. This is spiritual suicide, the bane of religion. The religion is not a problem. Scriptures are sacred or religions are sacred. The approach to religion has drifted human personality. The focus has shifted. It's no more using this knowledge, using religion to progress or grow, reach God realization, but it has become more like a I follow God. I go to Char Dham, different place of worship I go. I go to church, chapel. I go to different Mecca. That's achievement. We believe that's achievement. And I can be going to all these places of worship and be selfish and self-centered. Nothing change in me as a person, as a human being. What is the purpose of it? Why am I doing it? Rather, don't do. Spend the time better. So, we are not saying, Swamiji is not saying anything wrong with religion or religious practices. We are only saying that mere religion and religious practices are not to be taken as spirituality. Purpose of religion was to make one spiritual, shift the focus, help one to grow. If that is not happening, that focus is shifted, what is the point? What are we trying to do? It's rather we don't do it. So the approach has to be with head and heart. You feel what you believe in, you believe what you feel. So there is a connect. Spirituality is about the confluence between the head and the heart. You understand what you're doing. You understand there is a higher purpose, higher understanding of life, a higher thing. I don't understand it. Surrender and keep moving towards it. Slowly, slowly, we keep pitching up, reducing our desires, work on our desires, do something about, guide our desires, swadharma. Then we have a higher ideal, choose a higher purpose, your nature, then have a higher ideal, then act on obligation. All actions towards the ideal is called obligation. And be objective. This is the direction. You reduce your desires, first understand your set of desires, then you reduce it, then you eliminate it. That is spirituality, and you reach God realization. It takes time, yes, but someday we have to start. Rumi says, when will you start the long journey within yourself? So, nothing wrong with the world, but our perception or the perspective to the world or to religion has to be changed, has to be modified if it is not helping. Maybe it is helping, that's fine. If it is not helping, something has to be done. If something which was bothering me 20 years back, 30 years back is still bothering me, let's be factual, I have not grown. Something has to be done. Spirituality is about having that progressive and growth mindset. how can I become the better version of myself? That is being spiritual. Religion was supposed to help in the process with knowledge, with understanding. The enlightened souls attain the supreme state by their own efforts. So must you. You may take guidance from spiritual masters, but not enslave yourself. The religious leaders in the world have virtually destroyed the growth of spirituality, especially among the youth, by forcing their own religious beliefs indiscriminately upon the masses and insisting they observe obsolete codes of conduct. Do not let yourself be influenced by their imperative commandments. Rise above such unnatural influence. Strive hard on your own to get to the spirit of religion and gain the sane of knowledge of the living present rather than burying yourself in the dead past. What he's saying is try and think originally for yourself, question everything, keep progressing. Only by questioning, you get more conviction, more clarity, and that clarity helps you to grow in life. Mere mechanically following a knowledge, even a good knowledge, the best of knowledge, will not help. So the knowledge has to be absorbed. Even the best of food in front of us will not give any energy. What do? You break it. You have the food, you break it bit by bit. And then when you absorb it, digest it, then it becomes a strength in your personality. Until you digest the food, even the best of food, if you cannot digest the food, it is of no use. It's rather waste. So the best of knowledge is there, but it has to be understood, reflected by ourselves. We can't delegate that to others. We have to understand the knowledge is to be reflected and applied. Understood, applied. More you understand, better you are placed, closer you are to reality. The problem of introversion. The attractions of the world are tantalizing. Human beings, ignorant of their inner well, are drawn towards them. Hence, the human tendency is to be extrovert. You are unaware of your infinite power within and seek power in the external world. So are you ignorant of your infinite joy within and seek joy in the world outside. Likewise, ignoring the infinite knowledge of yourself, you seek knowledge externally. The kingdom of heaven lies within you, yet you pursue the world for precious trifles. The paradox arises from the problem of turning introvert. Rare indeed is one who looks within oneself. Unless you look within, you will not recognize the inherent desires that veil the self, much less realize the infinite nature of yourself. So the problem with turning introverted is the nature of the mind to be extroverted. You're ignorant, you're drawn towards the world. The world is tantalizing, it's attractive. So, at the physical level, power, at the emotional level, joy, intellectual level, knowledge of self, all is within you, but ignorantly we are seeking in the world. And that's why we can never be satisfied, because we are seeking in the wrong place. One lady lost a key. She started searching for the key. She was panicking. So people saw around, they also started on the street, they also started helping her to look for the key. And after a good 30, 40 minutes, somebody asked, "Ma'am, do you remember where did it fell? Where it could have fallen?" She said, "It's on the other side of the road." People are, why are you looking here when the key is lost there? She said, "It is easier to look for here. There is no grass, there's nothing, it's clean, clear. That's why I'm looking for it here." That said, there is so much of grass and all. Just shade. So I don't want to go there. You're looking for the key in the wrong place. What these masters are saying, you're looking for the self, the joy, the happiness in the wrong place in the world. You are the infinite, infinite power, infinite love, infinite knowledge. You're looking for it in the world. And we complain it's not there. Rightly so, it's not there because it's not supposed to be. The extroverted nature makes it difficult for you to investigate your weakness and take corrective measures. Instead, you find faults in others. You're able to do it with ease. But your own imperfections, even if they be several times magnified, remains obscure. This grave flaw in human being is well brought out by John Gay in his poem, The Turkey and the Ant. The poet describes a turkey in the barn tired of eating grain. It decides to leave the barn and seek a variety of food. The young ones followed the mother bird. They soon reached a hill full of black ants. The turkey started devouring them and bid her young ones eat freely. For breakfast, they consumed numberless ants. The turkey was quite unaware of the massacre it was committing. Ironically, it cursed man for gluttony in consuming turkey for Christmas, a sin that seemed nothing compared to its devastating consumption for a breakfast. The poem highlights this problem, recognizing your own fault. The problem with introversion. The mind's tendency is to see fault in others. So conveniently, so comfortably, we point fingers on others. Moment we point finger on others, all the other fingers are pointing me. What you talk of others talks more of you than others. So that highlights our mentality, our mindset, ourself. Stop talking about others. But the nature of the mind is to be extroverted. And that's what this Turkey and the Ant, the poem, is saying. John Gay wrote a very beautiful poem, very simple, very powerful poem. What he's saying is, so there's a turkey, and there's a conversation between turkey and the ant. So turkey was living in the barn, happily living, no problem, full of food. Morning, noon, night, everything is taken care of. Any problem? Yes. Problem? They got bored of eating. So then they want variety. Same food they're having every day. They got bored. They want variety. They went to the woods looking for food. Happy? Yeah. They found a hill full of black ant. You got food. You wanted variety. You got the variety. Are you happy? No. Mind wants something else. Desire shifted. If only we were being protected, every Christmas we are being eaten. The turkey is being cut every Christmas. If only we could have been protected by this gluttony of a human, we could have lived longer. Security, desires come. Turkey is blissfully unaware of all that it's doing. Instead, it is pointing fingers on others. To that, the ant sees and says, do you realize what you yourself are doing? Million times more than what you're claiming humans are doing to you. Blissfully unaware. Our faults are 100 times more than others. And the others' problem or mistakes are so highlighted as a problem with introversion. The mind's nature is to be extroverted. We see problem externally. The turkey and the ant. In other men, we fault can spy and blame the mote that dims their eye. Each little speck and blemish find to our own stronger errors blind. A turkey tired of common food forsook the barn and sought the wood. Behind her ran an infant train, collecting here and there a grain. Draw near, my birds, the mother cries, this hill delicious fair supplies. Behold the busy Negro race, see millions blacken all the place. Fear not, like me, with freedom eat. An ant is most delightful meat. How blessed, how envied were our lives, could we but escape the poulterer's knife. But man cursed man on turkey praise, and Christmas shortens all our days. Sometimes with oysters we combine, sometimes assist the savory shine. From the low peasant to the lord, the turkey smokes on every board. Sure men for gluttony are cursed, of the 7 deadly sins the worst. An ant who climbed beyond her reach, thus answered from neighboring beach, ere you remark another sin, with thine own conscience look within. Control thy more voracious bill, not for a breakfast nation's kill. So he says, in other men, we fault can spy. So easy to see fault in others. And blame the mode that dims their eye. Your eyes closed to yourself. Each little speck and blemish find, to our own stronger errors blind. Even the small speck we find in others, we blow it up. In us, it's not even seen. So he compares with the turkey who is bored of tired of common food. He left the barn and sought the wood. The little one, the infant train, collecting here and there grain. They went, the mother says, this hill delicious fare supplies. Behold the busy negro race, indicating the ant hill. No? They are referring to. See millions blacken all the place. Fear not like me with freedom eat. The ant is most delightful meat. So first desire of food. They have food. You happy? No. I want variety. Okay. You got variety. Are you happy? No. Now, suddenly, thought has changed. How blessed, how envied were our life. Could we but escape the poulterer's knife? If only we could have escaped the poulterer's knife, we will be blessed. But man cursed man on turkey praise. These cursed people, cursed human beings. On Christmas shortens all our days. Christmas Eve, people have turkey. One turkey, big bird, 10 people can have. Right? So one person is killing one turkey in 10 years. This is the combination. This is the mathematical calculation, right? One turkey is being killed by one man in 10 years. Right? And this, how many ants they can have? Hundreds, thousands, one meal. All of them are destroying thousands of ants, 3 meals, multiplied by 365, multiplied by 10. That is the proportion of the mistake. One turkey is being killed versus 10 lakh ant are being killed. Which one is higher? One turkey or 10 lakh ant? To that he says, an ant who climbed beyond her reach thus answered from the neighboring beach, ere you remark another sin, before you comment on another person's mistake, sin, bid thine own conscience look within, look into yourself. Control thy more voracious bill, not for a breakfast nation's kill. Control yourself, man. Mind your business. Understand what you're doing. John Gay. You should therefore refrain from finding flaws in others, criticizing others' failing. Behind every flaw you recognize in others, perhaps you have the same more pronounced in you. Do not consume your life merely detecting the blemishes in the outside world. Judge not others, cautioned Lord Jesus. The energy you waste in judging others could as well serve to improve yourself. Moreover, by blaming the vice in others, you miss the virtues. You become involved in the negativities and lose the positive side of life. Do not give up the rose for its thorns. You would soon realize the wisdom in the resounding words of Edward Wallace Hall. There is so much good in the worst of us and so much bad in the best of us that it hardly behooves any one of us to talk about the rest of us. Stop complaining. Stop blaming others. So the problem with introversion is the mind's tendency is to find fault externally, extroverted. So we need to consciously make an effort with knowledge and understanding and turn introvert, leave others alone. They have to deal with their account separately. Let them mind their business. Let me mind my business. Thank you.